Okay, now you've got
I don't think thank you, Matthew, I appreciate that. Thank you, everybody. So glad that we can all make it here through the sweltering heat to wonderful sunny Las Vegas, Nevada for the 25th anniversary of yet another Perl conference. This is the Perl and Raku Conference 2024 in Las Vegas. Thank you for attending. We really do appreciate you coming by and spending some time with us. So let me get into my first slide. And this is the venue. It's the Alexis Park Resort. Many of you already had breakfast this morning in Parthenon 5. That's where we're going to have our breakfasts and lunches. So as you can see, it's a little bit of a hike. You have to get back through the lobby and go by the pool and get there. But we do have a breakfast every morning. Tomorrow we'll have an actual buffet breakfast as opposed to the continental one this morning. And then on Tuesday and Thursday of this week, we'll have a lunch as well. Today's is a Mexican fiesta. It's Taco Tuesday. And Thursday, we will be having a barbecue lunch in there as well. If you have any dietary accommodations, please let me know so that we can get those dealt with the not only the hotel staff, but also the dinner staff tomorrow at Tournament of Kings for our dinner. Snack breaks will be served out in the foyer by the registration desk where we were. There will be one each morning and each afternoon. They are on the schedule, so if you have any questions about that, the menus for each one of those will be different as well and are posted on the schedule. So again, if you have any questions, please let us know. This boxed off room behind us here, this is the hackathon room, and it will be open every day from about 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. except for tonight. It'll be open until midnight. We also have the first two conference rooms down here towards the foyer will also be open tonight. Brett, correct me if I'm wrong, but the Perl Science Committee is having the annual convention in 1 and 2 tonight. And then in 3 and 4 here, it'll be open for game night. So if you brought a board game or a video console or something like that, that room will be available for socialization tonight as well. So it is laid out just like this as I described. The Apollo 1 and 2 down on the end there, that will have the science track today and tomorrow, and then more talks on Thursday. The middle room here is Apollo 3 and 4. That will also have talks, and then this is the main keynote area and where we will have the primary track as well. And again, the registration's in the foyer. And the hackathon room is back there. So I already described the meals. Menus are posted on Sched. If you need an alternative meal, please let a volunteer know so that we can arrange that for you. Now, something about Las Vegas, as many of you have figured out already, it's hot and gets hotter every day. So today's high temperature is supposed to be 108. So we have, in your swag bag, there was a guide that was produced that has a list of things that are within a relative walking distance. And I say relative walking distance because I know people go, oh, I can walk 2-3 miles, no problem. Not here. If you are going to be outside for more than half an hour or walk more than about a mile or a kilometer and a half, please take water, stay hydrated, and consider alternate transportation. Uber and Lyft are pretty good here in Vegas. Taxis are pretty plentiful as well. But most everything that you need in a hurry is down Harmon Road here to the east, which is the direction that I'm pointing. That's where there's a 7-Eleven there, there's a CVS over there, there's a bunch of stores and restaurants there. So if there's something that the hotel doesn't provide that you need, you can walk down that way. Yes, ma'am?
East is toward the sphere, right?
East is away from the sphere.
North is the sphere.
Yes, north and slightly west is the sphere. So, yes, if you go towards the sphere, you're going the wrong way. Walk away from the light. So now, this being the 25th anniversary of the first YAPC, I thought I'd take a look here really quick and talk about the history of that. So, in 1997, O'Reilly hosted the first Perl conference. And that was intended to be a conference of the time, more of a corporate thing that we're used to, where you basically expected your boss to pay for the conference and you would go and be reimbursed and all of that. And O'Reilly held that name for a long time. But in 1999, a group of folks decided that having a more grassroots conference was more in line with the virtues of Perl, and so YAPC, or Yet Another Perl Conference, was created. The first one was held in Pittsburgh at Carnegie Mellon University, and I think it was held there the first 2 years, actually. At the same time as that, TPC moved away from that naming and towards the naming OSCON for the Open Source Conference. And that was a broader move by O'Reilly. It still retained the Perl Conference name for a couple of years, but that slowly drifted off as other languages got their moment in the sun at that conference. So that was all wise and great, and people thought, hey, this is a great idea. So in 2000, Europe had its first YAPC. Many other international versions followed. We've had YAPCs in Russia, we've had YAPCs in Israel, we've had YAPCs in South America. There was one in Australia that turned into the Open Source Developers Conference, OSDC. The biggest YAPC, though, that still remains is actually in Japan. It's YAPC Asia, and they had a conference in February that had over 400 people attending. So yeah, Perl is still alive and well in Japan, and the conference is still alive and well in Perl in Japan, but not so much in other places. So then in 2016, after many years deciding to wind down their conference business, O'Reilly Events gave permission to the Perl Foundation and to YAPC to return to the Perl Conference name, which we then did for a handful of years. And that was great, but in 2020, just as COVID was starting to hit, we had the idea, well, this is really about Perl and Raku, because Raku was a feature of YAPC and TPC for a number of years, so let's get both conferences, or both languages in the name, and TPC became TPRC, reflecting Raku's growth and contributions to the conference. And in fact, we do have a Raku track this year, as well as a Perl track, and that's wonderful for our community because there are many people who are in both communities, not just in one or the other. And then, as I said, in 2020 we had a pandemic, and so TPRC went in the cloud, and those were actually two of the most successful years that we had in recent history as far as having a conference. So if we think about where TPRC has been, this is a map of all the locations where TPRC has been hosted. So North America has had 25 in-person conferences in 17 cities. This is the first conference west of the Rockies. We had two in Salt Lake, but that's in the Rockies. So, yeah, it's a technicality, but we all live on technicalities here, don't we? No, Portland never had a YAPC. Portland had a TPC, but Portland never had a YAPC. In fact, that's where OSCON was, and so the whole idea of having the YAPC on the East Coast was to balance out the fact that OSCON was on the West Coast, but there's no OSCON anymore. So we've been in Europe, we've been in Asia, and as I said, Asia is the other place where we've had a YAPC this year. We've had in South America, Russia, Ukraine, Israel, and even Australia. What this doesn't include are the many other Perl events that have happened over the years, such as the London Perl Workshop, which is coming back this October, and I'm hoping that a lot of folks attend that and enjoy that. There have also been like German Perl workshops, there have been workshops here in America, hackathons, Frozen Perl, that sort of thing. But this is just when we're looking at conferences here. So, but look around. We've come a long way from grassroots accommodation, staying in dorm rooms. The number of years that we were in colleges and that, it's fun to be here at this point, but this all comes at a cost. And we've always said that the hallway track in an in-person conference was the biggest draw that we could have in terms of having a conference, in order to keep things alive. The conference in the cloud sort of disrupted that idea for us, and so we've been thinking about it for a while. What does it take to ensure that a conference or a workshop or something like this can continue to grow and bring people into our community and learn about the languages? And so we as a conferences committee and we as the TPRF board are wondering, what is it that we can do to make these conferences more attractive again? Have they gotten too expensive? Is being in person too much of a burden? That sort of thing. There's a lot of travel involved, a lot of logistics, and it can be a little bit of a nightmare. And especially for us on the organizing committee, trying to find places to host this every year, it gets to be a challenge, especially because you don't just submit in, oh, hey, I want a conference for 200 people, and boom, here come up 20 different proposals that are perfect for you. You kind of have to pick and choose, and again, we do a lot of stuff by grassroots here. So what we're asking for is your feedback. We have a QR code up here on the screen that leads you to a Google form that asks you about your experiences in these conferences. You can also visit it by going to the website, tprc.us/survey. You can also email us, admin@pearlconferences.us. We will have all this information up at the registration desk after this talk, so if you need to come up and scan the QR code or ask, how do I give that feedback? You can also just find me or any of the other volunteers and pass that feedback along. We will talk about what the future of the conference looks like on Thursday during the Meet the TPRF board session at 2:30 p.m. That'll be one of the final sessions of the conference here. So look forward to hearing your thoughts and what you believe will help us continue to keep this conference successful for many years to come. Anyone, as you checked in, you were given the option to put a bunch of badges, ribbons on your badge, excuse me. If you put this black Hallway ++ ribbon on your badge, that is an expectation that other people can come up and introduce themselves to you and talk to you about different things that you're doing in Pearl. So if you are welcome to that, if you want to perhaps find, have people come up and introduce themselves and maybe find a new project to work on together, or maybe you just find common interests, please be willing to wear this Hallway ++ so that other folks know that you're available and willing to talk about those things. If you find an unclaimed coaster, they're floating around these rooms, that have the Onion logo on it, those are actually just freebies to take. So if it's unclaimed, feel free to claim it. There will be a handful of those distributed throughout the conference. We also have extra to-its, we have poker chips, we have rubber ducks, we have notepads, we have other stuff that was in your swag bag that we have extras of. Feel free to come up to the registration desk. We will also be selling the extra shirts and tote bags, but we'll be doing that on Thursday, and we will post the prices at the registration desk when we do that. There are little papers scattered around here with the Wi-Fi information. It's a little weird this year, but that's the network that they gave us. Don't be confused, there's another network named Alexis Conference. That is not the right network. They never got that one working properly. That's why we have this sort of weird one here. So apologies for that, but that's the Wi-Fi connecting information if you need it. If you try and connect to the other Alexis Conference network, it's not going to work. If you're making posts on social media, if you're posting pictures or what have you, please use our hashtag TPRC24 when you're posting those so that other folks can find them and we can build up some buzz about the things that we're doing during the conference here. And we, on the main webpage, we have a link to the wiki. That is where you can find information about other things that are going on that are not necessarily organized officially. So birds of a feather sessions, hackathon projects, arrival dinner, well that was last night, but you know, other things that are going on, all that information is available on the wiki. So I'd like to hand off the microphone for a moment to Jeff Avery, who's going to be talking about lightning talks.
So we have 2 sessions of lightning talks this year. One of them will be after the keynote and cookie break this morning. The other one will be just about the last thing on Thursday night. We already have a full set of 8 speakers for this morning, 9 speakers actually. There are spaces available on Thursday, so if you have one, come tell me that you have something and put it in through the website. It's all the way up top, submit a lightning talk. In between the lightning talks, we will have lightning advertisements. If you have something to say on just about any topic, popular ones include we are hiring, we have a Pearl Mongers group, I've got a project going, I'm going to go play tourist later in the week somewhere in town and please come with me. Just come up here and say what you have to say. So while the speakers are switching laptops here, you will come up here with the microphone. You have about 30 seconds to fill in the time while they're doing their thing. say whatever you gotta say. To make life easy, there's a spot up front here marked Lightning Advertiser, and there's 2 spots on the front over there. So, if you are going to give an advertisement while the speakers before you are switching, move up to one of those seats so you'll be able to get up here quick. Then when you're all done, go back to where you came from to leave the room for the next advertiser. And I think that will take care of most everything.
Thank you, Jeff. Okay, so thank you again for coming. We are primed for a great week of learning and fun. Thank you for choosing to join us, whether you came on your own accord or you're here with your employer. We really appreciate everybody that comes. We greatly appreciate everyone who has helped to this point, all the organizers, volunteers, speakers, and helpers. I want to give a special thank you to Sarah Gray, who's sitting right here in the front. Who has wrangled all of our volunteers and manages our registration efforts. Sarah, stand up for a second. This is Sarah, thank you for everything you do, and thank you for all of our volunteers, whether you're volunteering to be room organizers, or whether you help set up, or you'll help us tear down, or we really couldn't do this without everybody's support, and I really do appreciate everyone who chips in. And so, have fun, make the conference yours, enjoy your time here, make some new friends, learn some new technologies, and we're just primed for a great week, and I look forward to learning and having fun with all of you. So, one last announcement, the banquet tickets for tomorrow will be picked up when you come in the morning. They will be at the registration desk. If you specifically want to sit with somebody, I highly suggest coming up and getting your tickets with them, because that's about the only way we can guarantee. Otherwise, you're going to have to do horse trading to figure out where you're going to sit. Everybody's going to be in the Ireland section, so we're all rooting for Ireland, apparently. But those will be available tomorrow, and if you purchased any extra banquet tickets or anything like that, that's when you can go ahead and pick that up. If you have any dietary restrictions for that, please let me know. I have to have your seat assigned in order to get you your meal properly, so that's why I need that information in advance. And with that, my microphone's cutting out, but with that, thank you very much for coming, and I'm going to turn over the podium here to Ovid for his keynote this year. Thank you very much.